Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Pranesh and PJ. So this is another episode of the Pals podcast.
Hey, what's up?
So we are at Zacheelsdrift. We're sitting on a Afdaki, they call it. And we just wanted to wrap up the 2024 year. This was the year that PJ and I decided to do a challenge for the year on the birding. So I just wanted to wrap up how that went and maybe give some highlights and maybe some challenges we faced when actually taking up this challenge. So I ended up with, or I'm going to end up with about 380 birds for the year, which was, I think, my biggest year so far. PJ, how many did you end up with for the year?
So currently I'm on around 283, I would say, for South Africa.
Yeah.
But my world list for the year is, which doesn't count.
For this challenge,
For this
yes.
challenge, my world list doesn't count, but my world list is about, I think, 440.
Okay, so you beat me on the world list, but
Yeah.
I haven't left South Africa. So South Africa is my world list as well.
Yeah.
So I came close.
Yeah. Close enough.
Yeah. So I was actually aiming to try and get to 400. I didn't really think we'd get as far as we did with the challenge, but I was actually aiming in the last couple of months to try and get to 400. Went out to Magubaskloof and up to Hoedspruit to try and get the numbers up, but yeah, didn't really get all the way there. But I think it was a good year in terms of I got out birding more than I did last year and probably the previous year as well, and it made me take note of all of the birds that we sometimes maybe overlook as well.
Yeah.
So it's a good challenge that we came up with. I think just from the other participants, we had four other participants. So there were 6 of us, and Nesh, Udo, Leon have all gone past 300, and we'll see where they end up. They're all within the 300 to about 315, 320 range at the moment. And then the last one was Kenneth, who's out in Hoedspruit. He joined a bit later, but he got to about 270 or 280 at the last update. I must just get an update from him for December. So it's been a good year for all of us, I think.
Yeah.
And it was a good way to challenge ourselves. PJ, do you have any thoughts on like where your challenges came in terms of getting out and birding and getting the numbers up?
Yeah, I think, so in the beginning of the year, where this challenge actually started, we were actually out in Katberg in the Eastern Cape, myself and Pranesh, for a project out there. And yeah, I think we just decided, hey, like let's do a birding challenge.
Yeah.
I was a bit cocky about it, where I kind of just said, I'll bird for 6 months and still have more numbers than you. But then Pranesh took it pretty seriously. And then, yeah, so I think that was a good start, because we realized like this Katberg area has a quite nice forest area. And that actually made my numbers not so great at the end of it, because I went to Magubaskloof just a few weeks ago and I thought I'm going to get all the forest birds, actually forgetting that I got a whole bunch of forest birds in Katberg. So didn't get a lot of birds. So I think I didn't get out to the forest too much. I also didn't get out to Kruger at all this year. So I think from that perspective, I think I did pretty well getting up to 280. Maybe it'll be 290 by the end of December. Today, maybe. Let's see how it goes. But I think not getting out to Kruger and just kind of like birding around Gauteng a lot of the time. Got me some good numbers. But I think definitely. You definitely need to go out to the bigger parks in order to get your numbers up. So I would say like the Kruger is definitely a must if you want to get like big numbers, like so that 300s and 400s.
Yeah.
I would say St. Lucia is probably a really
Very
good
good
spot.
one as well, yeah.
So just KZN birding is obviously phenomenal in general. So if you want to get numbers up there, and then I think like we always think about, we don't always think about Cape Town, but Cape Town has a lot of like species out there that are not found anywhere else. Like
in the
Fynbos
country,
species,
yeah.
So,
I think, just to add, I mean, I never got out to the Karoo, but I did get out to Kalahari, which was additional to what PJ has done. I also got out to the Kruger a couple times. I think my Kruger bird list is over 100 just on the Kruger birds, but there'll be duplicates as well.
Yeah.
I think using the Birder app actually helps a lot because you can see, what the different challenges they have are. So I've got a year list, I've got a Southern Africa list, and a Kruger list as well because of the challenges they run on that app. I think what it also highlights is that the different biomes and the different sort of...
Chin spot batis.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Yeah, so I think what it also highlights is that the different biomes, the different sort of habitats will get you different birds as well. So I had the opportunity to bird in many different habitats, including the Pilanesberg more often. I got out to Wackerstroom, and yeah, it's I think it's a good way to challenge yourself. Whether I'll do it next year, not 100% sure, but I think I'll keep a year list from now on.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think I normally do keep a year list, like indirectly. As you just bird for the year, you kind of just like, I use the eBirds app, and the eBirds automatically keeps a year list for you. So that kind of like, when I look back, I kind of like, like this year I've actually increased, and I did better at in different years.
Yeah.
So I think definitely keeping a year list is nice. And then I think also just kind of like getting out and seeing a lot of species again. I think what this challenge also done was to look for birds that I was like, I've seen them already, and maybe I've seen them like 2 or 3 times, but I haven't seen them in like potentially like 3 years. And you kind of like, cool, well now I need to actually go, and I've seen all the normal stuff that I normally see, so now I need to go and see this. You'll probably find some new birds, and when you then look at your list, you then end up seeing that there's a bunch of birds that you probably haven't seen in a couple of years, so you definitely have to go and look for them. So yeah.
Well, yeah, like I was looking the other day for half-collared kingfisher. I haven't seen it in 3 years. It's not on my LASA list. We're getting coffee.
Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So where was I? Yeah, so I went out looking for the half-collared to maybe try and get it onto the list and get it onto the year list. I think there were a few birds where I went out specifically looking for them in the habitat that I was at, even though I'd seen them before, and try to get them on the year list. It's brings a new dimension into the birding as well. You're not just chasing lifers anymore. But that being said, I did add, so I'm on 560 for the life list now. I started the year on 529, so that's 31 birds for the year, which is, I think, really good when you start getting to the higher numbers. 31 birds in a year when you're over 500 is really good.
Yeah, I don't know when last year. I think I got probably like maybe 3 lifers this year. In terms of
in
South Africa. Yeah. Like that was, and it's very specific birds, kind of getting to that point. And I mean, in my South African list is now at, I think, 525.
Okay.
Which is a decent list. But now again, I'm having to, there's just like certain areas that I need to go and bird, like we mentioned, the Karoo.
The Karoo, yeah. I think I also have to bird the Karoo. I've been to Tankwa, but not as a birder.
Yeah.
I've just been to Tankwa. So there's some endemics that are, only found in that area that we have to bird properly. I think we get out to the Kruger, we get out to KZN quite a bit easier.
Yeah.
The Kruger is just far to get to.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also like, you kind of have to go for a purpose there, because it's not like there's a lot of stuff to, maybe there is a lot of stuff to do that we just don't know.
Yeah.
But we're pretty much going out there. But yeah, I think it's been a very, very good year, very positive year. I think even like there's been a lot of rain recently also in Johannesburg. Even in the areas here, we had Zachel, and the rains have finally come. There's been some really good species out here already. That's pretty much been seen. So I think it's more, this video again is probably just more to encourage people to definitely go out and bird a lot more. I think it definitely is one of those things where if you spend time just kind of like looking for specific species all the time, it might also get like a little bit like frustrating. So sometimes just like general birding or like year challenges. And I guess, like we said, we did it as like a group of people. So it got a little bit challenging, but
it got competitive.
It got competitive, but it was always friendly birding. I mean, at the end of the day, we also like we share sightings. We're like, hey, you can go here.
I think part of the problem is we end up birding together a lot.
Exactly.
So we get the same birds, you know.
Yeah. He stuck out a few times. He stuck out a few times without me.
I was not sneaky.
We went to Wakkerstroop, right?
I was working.
I know, but but yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's very, very good to definitely go out, definitely bird, keep it careless. I guess make it very like social also.
Yeah.
Sometimes birding can be a thing where you're just kind of like doing this thing by yourself, but like, birding with your partner, birding with friends, going out, also just getting out into nature, I think is definitely something that is good. And then, like visiting just like wild places that are quite close to your home is also just a good way to kind of like relax and be very like super chilled and stuff like that. So yeah,
you do a lot more birding around the house as well. I mean, yesterday I was sitting and listening to a black cuckoo from my room. So I think you take notice of more birds. I think that's about a good summary of the year that we've had. I think one of the reasons that PJ didn't mention why he hasn't been birding much is because he's had his first daughter, Summer. So congrats on that, PJ. So part of the reason why PJ didn't get out is he's being busy. He's got some parental duties now. So but birding takes a little bit of a backseat. But
I still felt like I birded pretty hard in the in-betweens.
In the months you got.
I even like was at home. I kind of like was like, oh cool, I need to redo my garden. So I've landscaped my garden a little bit more to kind of like attract birds and stuff like that, putting in more indigenous plants and all of that. So maybe I'll do a video about that. Maybe we'll even do a podcast about retransforming your garden and kind of like what I did. You've also done a lot of landscaping and stuff like that previously. So
previously
could be a good episode also, just to be like, if you are at home,
the birds.
Exactly. And now my home list is almost up to like 40 or 50 birds,
which is quite good. I mean, it's like a 5-meter radius that you're birding in, and you can count 40 species. It's really good. I think we'll sign off from this episode of the podcast, and we'll catch you on the next one, which should be just down the road from here. And we'll do that one quite shortly as well. So keep an eye out. I don't know if we're going to do a alternate channel, so maybe post one on my channel, one on your channel. We'll decide on that. And maybe we'll just do one or maybe we'll do it where I post it maybe a week earlier, and then we both post to the channels, channels. So,
all right, cool.
I think we'll sign off from Zach for this one, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers. Have a good New Year.